Well, hey guys, sorry again for the hiccup of having to postpone it by a day, but appreciate you guys bearing with me. Nice to see some faces we don't see typically on a Wednesday night. So I guess maybe it's a little bit of serendipity built in here to see a few faces we don't see. So, hey guys, long time no see. Um, this is our penultimate meeting for 2024. Everyone's getting ready for Christmas. We're obviously talking about snow. It's finally arrived in New England, and at some point, somebody around everyone in New England has got something they've had to deal with. In terms of announcements, I don't have a whole lot because it is towards the end of the year. I can only speak of only one thing, and that's on December 7th, which is this coming Saturday. There is the Vintage Radio and Communications Museum of Connecticut Swap Meet, and that goes from 8 o'clock to 1 p.m. So if you're trying to get yourself that last minute gift to yourself or to a significant other who doesn't really want to give it back to you, that, that's that's the thing to do. But otherwise, we're just locks and loaded getting ready for Christmas. So, but anyway, I think that's the only announcement I've got. Does anyone have any announcements for things we need to be aware of that I somehow overlooked or doesn't show up in our calendar?
Well, I'm not sure that I've talked about this before or not, but one of our members, Nels Anderson, K1UR, is running a business in which he takes estates of people who died, collectors, ham radio guys, and puts everything on eBay, writes descriptions, put things on eBay, sells it, and collects the money, and then the family 50% of the eBay total that it sells for on eBay. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing for him to do. He shows up at many of our meets, long as it's not pouring rain. I think you can always count on seeing him there with some of the stuff that he doesn't just sell on eBay, also sells at the meets. But the point is that it's worthwhile keeping an eye on the stuff that he's selling. And you can do that very easily by just looking at K1UR on eBay, K1 United Romeo. And you can go there anytime. And he's got a list of hundreds of radio related items. I would say more tending toward ham radio things, but he's got a lot of test equipment on there, a lot of tools. When he cleans out a house of somebody who died, he takes everything. So he takes the tools, the test equipment, and you might find things that are interesting there. I don't know how much he does with tubes. I haven't noticed that, but I think it's worthwhile definitely keeping track of Nels and say hello to him at the meets. He's just the most wonderful guy, and he's doing an incredible favor. As you probably remember, he took care of all of Bill Holly's estate. Bill Holly was a major telegraph key collector. Then one problem is that Bill Holly has one telegraph key that just has to be sold for a lot of money, and it's Nels has had it on his website now for I think over a this
Hmm.
is a exact replica of the key used on the Titanic when it went down. And I have one here. I'll show it to you in a minute, but or run off and get it for later. But the Bill Holly paid $7,000 for it, and obviously is not going to be able to get that. This is such a perfect replica. It took the guy 600 hours in his machine shop making this thing. Every thread of every screw is exactly reduced in scale. So it's absolutely identical to the original key. The original key, I had one, I sold it for $20,000. So even the original key is very valuable. It makes sense that this exact replica was quite valuable, but Nels has it on his website for $2,500, which is about a third of what Bill Hawley paid for it. But and you'll see it there, but I don't know if you'll ever find anybody who's going to want to buy it. It's sort of unfortunate.
How interesting. Yeah.
One other thing that might be of interest, I am trying after probably 30 years to clean up my room. I have a very small radio room here. I guess probably measures 10 by 10, something like that. And I'm trying really hard to clean it up. And it's just been hours and hours. It's very difficult to clean up a room that you've lived in for that length of time. And any tips that you have would be really appreciated. Can I have just a minute to show a picture of what I'm dealing with here, John?
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me give you, let me just.
Fire insurance.
All right, Tom. You got,
Let me
share away.
My little portable camera here and shine it around the room and show you what I'm dealing with. Let's see. Let's start over there. We got just shelves and shelves of stuff, printers and more printers and stuff. Then we go to the computer that I'm using for the show and some ring lights and some stuff up on top. And then we go over here to bookcases full of stuff. Just terrible. Happens to be an enigma in there, so I can't totally discount it. But we're running along here. And then in back of me, I've got this wonderful collection of stuff up there. There's this wonderful clock. I don't know whether you can see it that shows the time in what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 places on Earth, plus the middle of the time here. And lots of old antique stuff back there.
How fun.
And ham radio gear, me, more ham radio gear, and more stuff. And then we get over to a wonderful old picture of a gal with a telephone. And up on the wall, I have antenna switches, highly illegal because I'm running the uninsulated wires in the shack and they're radiating RF. Don't tell anybody, Larry. And then we get down to a toolbox, and that's all my various tools and things. Another computer over here, but the toolbox has scared me. And let me explain this to you. I'm going to ask for your help on this. But in the process of cleaning out the room, I started cleaning out the top of the toolbox. And the top of the toolbox, I guess you can see it here, has some pictures on it, has some tools. You can see the RF meter leading to some antenna switches on the wall. But follow me as I go to the back of the top of the toolbox here. And if you can, let's see if you can see that. That's a picture of a bunch of people at Bletchley Park who were involved in Enigma machines. But down at the bottom of that picture is a very, very, very scary thing. It is a burn mark.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how that got there, but it shows me that that picture at one point caught fire, and I didn't know it. And to the right of that, you'll see there's a window shade. And if the window shade had caught fire from that, I imagine I wouldn't have a room to clean up anymore. So let's look at this thing a little more closely, and maybe you can help me figure out what was going on, what could have caused that fire. Of course, there's stuff that comes and goes on top of this toolbox, but let me move the picture away and you'll see, let's see.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there we go.
Nasty looking burn mark. And if you look down at the bottom of that burn mark, I don't know if I have enough lead on here. Yeah, I can do it. On the bottom of that burn mark, you'll see what looks like an electric arc of some kind going to the toolbox.
Yeah.
And down here, you can see there are two little spots here over
Yeah.
here, which are bare of paint. And I guess that's where the short circuit was. But I don't know what to do. I find it very, very, very scary to think that the room and the house could have burned up so easily. And it happened, I guess, long before I realized it, of course. And by that time, I had moved stuff in and out of the top of the toolbox many times. I had an internet switch and cable box there and a pencil sharpener, a lot of different line cords of things. But something there shorted out, and I never knew it until I started cleaning out the room. So if you have any suggestions on that, I would really appreciate it because I really don't want to burn down the house, contrary to what my wife may believe.
Wow. This is CIS Vermont.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the good news is you've only got one of them, right? So
yeah,
it only happened once.
that's right. I think that's true.
It'd be interesting to know if it was like, I don't know how you determine if it was like a 120 volts AC or if it was like a kilowatt linear RF or if it was, 600 volts DC from a B plus or,
Or
can you,
even 12 volts at 40 amps from a
right,
DC power supply. That
right.
would have done it too. And I don't know. I looked at that burn mark, the bare metal there, and I don't know how to evaluate what it might be, but there are two spots, and they're about what 3/4 of an inch apart, two little round sort of bare metal places. And it's really scary. What could it have been? I have absolutely, haven't seen anything burned. I haven't any idea what it might have been. But you're right. No, it's possible that it could be an arc from the kilowatt transmitter because the RF goes through bare wires up from that area. It's a
Yep.
possibility.
More fuses.
Wow. How interesting, because it's if you don't keep anything interesting on top of that toolbox, that's really interesting that happened. And that toolbox
You know,
probably to
it's
move
sort
get
of
moved anywhere, right?
it's sort of indicative of the fact that things can happen, really unexpected things. And I'm now considering looking into a one-room sprinkler system. I don't care if I totally soak everything in the room to save the house. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, I can look on Google and see if you can buy a sprinkler system that just does one room.
I don't
And
know if you want a sprinkler system for that. I think you want halon or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, I thought that halon was illegal, that they had
I
canceled
didn't
that.
think anything was illegal in Vermont.
That's right. We don't even have zoning in our town. You can build anything anywhere without
Exactly.
anybody complaining.
That's funny. A rarity.
I sort of hesitate to buy one of those powder things, though, because man, when that powder gets over everything after a fire, it's really, really hard to get it off things and out of things. And
Yep.
I think I'd rather just flood the room. Man, there's an idea. Maybe I could just flood the room. I have a reservoir about 500 gallons, which will just go whoosh.
Just as if you had one of those firefighting planes just dump a bunch of water.
So if anybody has any thoughts, let me know because that's a scary one.
Hey, Tom, I think you need a few more wires going in different directions.
It isn't that Jacob's ladder you have there, is it?
Maybe maybe some more heat sinks. Just put some heat sinks around,
Or maybe I could just ground everything, but then it'd be a dead short.
It's a good space heater though.
That's funny. Well, the mystery continues. Well, this is going to require more further investigation. But well, hopefully, Tom, hopefully you will be able to find the problem so we don't have a repeat.
Yeah, right. Or at least make it so it won't burn up the room if I do have a repeat. Just absolutely not on my radar. Can't imagine what was back there.
Very interesting.
And no
Or
one,
if you
no
were,
one on YouTube will see any of this.
hey, there he is. Here's my killer cat, Bob.
Yeah, this is great. This is big entertainment. This is better than what's on TV right now because between Tom trying to tune up his transmitter and sitting there with a cat in your lap trying to play Dr. No from the Bond movies, this is actually pretty good entertainment. We had snow today here in New Jersey, but it never stuck. It melted by the time it hit the ground. We were done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was entertaining to watch it fall. I mean, but hey, at least I didn't have to get out the snow thrower and start working. So I'm happy about that.
Nice.
That's the way I spent my day.
I will say, though, I spent about an hour last night trying to make sure that there was nothing wrong with my computer or trying to log on to Zoom. It's like, why aren't these, And then my wife says, aren't you on with the NEVEC guys? I'm like, well, I'm trying to get on the NEVEC guy. So
Yeah, sorry.
then I kind of pieced it all together and figured it out. I said, well, maybe John sent an email to the club, and since I am not officially a club member, I didn't get the
right.
memo.
I didn't reply all.
And then at 7 o'clock this morning, I'm checking my Gmail account and I see your post. I'm like, oh, okay.
Sorry about that, Bob. I thought
No, it's fine. It's all right. I figured it out.
But yeah, it was. I just had a little last minute family event that showed up just after I posted it. But
this is what I tell people: life happens. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But like I said, the benefit is to get to see a few people we haven't seen in a while. So moving to Thursday was kind of a nice, little bit of a nice benefit here. But
when I was in New Jersey, Robert, didn't get much snow, and the snowplows would come along and plow it all into our driveway. So you had this huge lump of snow at the end of your driveway that you had to drive through. You couldn't drive through it. So
we've had storms like that, Tom, where we get 6, 8, 10 inches a foot, and I'm out there. I have a fairly large snow thrower. I go out there. My wife knows how to use it too. She'll go out there and use it. We get it all done, and then 20 minutes later, here's the plow going down the street, and then now I got 4 foot snow in the end of the driveway.
That's right.
Do it all over again.
Yeah. What I did was I took a 1-inch piece of plywood, the width of my old station wagon, and I strapped that plywood onto the front bumper of my station wagon. And my drive was sort of a downhill, and I'd get started, I go whoosh through the snow and push it across the street. And I didn't destroy the station wagon in the process, but
what part of New Jersey were you living at the time?
To see this.
Where in New Jersey were you living at the time, Tom?
I was in North Caldwell, up on a hill in Caldwell.
That's funny.
North Caldwell. That's a lot of this.
Yeah. I was teaching at Montclair State at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a battering ram on your station wagon.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But well, I think it's probably good to turn over to David Spivey. Tell us about VRPS. What I'll be shooting some photos, but tell us what went on.
David saw performances from Corpse and Backstreet Boys and Little Big Town and Coco.
What? You good, David?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want me to start sharing, or do you want to, maybe,
yeah, I'll just talk for a few minutes. And do you have the pictures in any certain order or the videos?
I do have them loaded up. I can do it any order you want because they loaded up individually into my download folder on my Mac, so I can go in any order. So if we've got a few short video clips that you took, and we have the photos of the contest and the
Auction
winners and the auction. So I could do it anywhere you'd like.
Well, okay, I I would do them in the auction items first, the contest items second, and then the videos at the end.
Okay. Let's see here. Let me just go find the
But I mean, before you start, let me just tell everybody that what do you think the odds are of 9 people being on a video Zoom meeting with the same name Spivey?
that is, I had wondered that how
We are not related.
no, you say.
Hey, Lloyd, aren't you in Kentucky?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in Kentucky and
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, you and I had a phone conversation way back when. I think I called you one time on an ad that you had in the Antique Radio Classifieds,
Yeah.
and then we got to talking about Spivey's. Who are you, and where are you from, and where's Dad from, and that kind of thing. I think we
Right.
determined that we're not related in any way. So, but
I think I told you that most of my Spivey relatives, I think, were from Georgia, but there
Yeah.
were some missing mules, and they had to leave Georgia and go to Arkansas.
yeah, all of my relatives are Tennessee based.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, the pictures and the video tonight are from the Dallas Club, the Vintage Radio and Phonograph Society 50th annual convention, which was held in November of this year. Started in 1974, so that's 50 years. And I think I was telling somebody, how do you get interested in old radios? And I remember we had moved back to Arkansas from North Carolina, and my wife and I were walking through an antique mall, and there was a small little plastic Firestone set sitting on a table from about 47 or 48, I think. And it had a sign on it that said $7, it works. And, I've been, since 25 years, I've been in the Dallas Vintage Radio Club. So, but there are people that have been there a lot longer than me and know a lot more than I know. But Jim Sargent is the president of the club. And Jim was in Arkansas for a time, and then he got transferred to Texas. So he's been a friend a long time. And he does some internet auctions, but he also does the auction for the Dallas Club, and he does the auction for the Illinois, the Antique Radio Club of Illinois, up in outside of Chicago every year. He's done that several years in a row. It starts on a Friday afternoon with a paper and tube auction. Later in the afternoon on Friday, it starts the radio auctions, and most everything starts at $10 on Friday and can go up, way up. Then Saturday morning, and the contest, people are loading stuff into the contest Friday afternoon. The contest is judged Saturday morning. The second round of the auctions begins Saturday afternoon, where the minimum opening bid is $20. Then the contest winners are announced, and there's a banquet at the banquet on Saturday night. And then Sunday morning, there's kind of a informal kind of flea market. It's not anything like most flea markets are. There was, mostly parts, tubes, knobs, stuff like that. So I can go through the auction and is that what we're going to do first, John?
Yeah, we could do the auction item first. In fact,
I did not take a picture of every item in the auction because we'd be here all night. But there were some interesting items.
All right. Let's see here. Let me two. And okay, let's see. I'm gonna whoops. What's that? Oh, okay. Hold on a second here. Sorry about that. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, looks good.
All right. So this is the first. Is this where you want me to start, David?
Uh,
This was the
yeah, you can just start anywhere.
Okay, we'll start with the auction items, I guess. This is, I guess, one of them. Let me just flip this one here. So this is a Philco service sign. Looks like it was lit, judging from, oops, sorry, there we go. That's pretty neat. That's a really nice shape. And I'd say probably up here must be where the bulbs would have been. I assume this is a hood to light things.
Hey, John, we're just seeing the thumbnails.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, hold on a second here. Let me reshare here. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's try that. You know what? Let me just do the entire screen. That will actually save. So now let me go back to the.
Now we got it.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's a Philco radio repair sign, lighted. I think it needed a bulb. But my good friend Barry McDaniel here in Little Rock cleaned out a lot of his stuff from his storage unit. This was one of the things he had in there. I did not write down what everything went for, but I do remember a few things.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. It's a really nice shape. Unfortunately, I have to go do these individually because I can't seem to be able to go run up and down with the arrows on this for some reason or another, but that's okay. There aren't a ton of photos, so we can deal with that. All right. And we just
Everybody knows what that is.
sure
Old
do.
fridge radio.
That's in terrific condition too. Yeah, that's a really, and I love the color too. That's almost perfect. I mean, I don't see anything, almost nothing wrong with this. Other than maybe it's a little bit of soiling on the grill cloth, but boy, this is really nice.
Hey, John, if you select all the images and open them up in preview, then you can page down through them.
Oh, is that right? Let me try that. So you select all. Just like where the movie. Okay. And then you say preview. Uh, 222. Can I do preview with that? No, that's not it. What am I missing, Larry? Because this is on my Mac.
Oops. Right click on one of the images and the first choice will be open. And
There we go. All right, there you go. I think we got it. Thank you. I'm still kind of new to the Mac environment, admittedly, so this I think this should work, although the ordering may be I think it'll work.
There you go.
So here we go. So we saw these two. All right, so this is a Sonara. You can tell that's French.
Now, you're into the contest items now.
Oh gosh. Let me try.
That's okay. That's okay. If you want to go through those, we can.
Let's see if we can get this right here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Sorry about that, David. Just the way you brought up the files. Um, Now, what this is?
That's a Crosley AM and foreign set 517 Fimer from 1937.
Wow, that's nice. That's really nice. Oh, look at that.
Westinghouse clock radio. A clock, advertising clock.
That's really nice.
Some of the parts were a little loose in that.
Is that lit up in the back, I suppose?
Yeah, it's lit up when it's all put together and working.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, this is a cool Stuart Warner.
Yeah, that's a little air pal. I've had several of those. This one, this set was actually sold in the auction, which is one of the videos you got later on.
Yes. That's
I haven't seen one of them in ages. That is rare.
I love it. So it must be, is that a little four tuber?
I don't remember if that was an AA5 or what. I think it was an AA5 GT set.
A5 123, 1947.
Oh, I love it. Such a cool looking radio. There we go. That's nice as Firestone. That's interesting.
This is Air Chief model 7403-4, 1940. This set is sold a lot as an Ingram case. It doesn't have an Ingram case tag on the bottom, but it's usually sold as the cabinet done by the Ingram Cabinet Company.
Yeah, that looks like it would have been. Very attractive radio. Pretty terrific condition too. Very nice.
Now, I'm not sure what happened to my picture on this set. This was in the auction, and apparently, the black lines, I think, just were on my camera or something, because it had been in a contest in another radio show where it had won a best restoration ribbon and second place in whatever category it was in. But in this particular radio meet, this was just an auction item.
Wow, that's very nice. I have never seen a particular model before. Very nice. Very nice. I can see why it won all
It's the model number is WR179, 1939.
Wow, that's
What
beautiful.
are all the black threads or whatever they are in the image?
Yeah, I wish I knew.
That's weird. Because that's the only picture in which that seems to have that. Huh. Very curious. Well, we'll never know, but at least all the other photos came out well.
It's the Russians.
There we go. That's a nice looking RCA. Look at that unusual front design, almost like a nautical ship wheel.
This is known as the RCA Treasure Chest, 1939, model 40X54.
It looks like the same radio they used in the RCA World's Fair radio, that a different style cabinet.
It is, and I've got a radio I'll show you when I'm back on the screen, which is almost in the same cabinet. They made a lot of sets right in 39 and 38 with that looked very identical.
That's unusual. I've never seen that one. It's very nice. All right, let's see. Here we go. This nice Admiral.
Yeah, that's a radio, stereo, television, advertising sign with a clock. I'm sure that was hanging in the repair store window somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That probably looks great backlit. Yeah, that's nice. Now here's an unusual Emerson.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
that's a neat Emerson. That is a model 788 Series B. B is in boy from 1954.
I've never
Never
seen.
seen that before.
Yeah, ditto.
Looks like two radios put together.
Yeah, it's interesting how they kind of molded it.
It's like when Hewlett Packard and Apollo Computer merged. They came out with a computer that kind of looked like that. Like they took an Apollo and rammed it into the side of an HP, and it was kind of weird looking. But this radio looks better.
I think you're right. I think you're right. It's neat though. Okay, here's a nice one.
True Tone Boomerang Model D2018 1950.
I don't think I've ever seen one of those either. I like the dial face.
I've seen that style cabinet, but I don't remember it being a True Tone. I thought it was a different manufacturer, but it was the same cabinet. I just love that deco look. That's just so cool.
Yeah.
That's just screaming 50s right there.
Yeah, but the nice, hopefully has a nice dial light.
Yeah, you're right though. It seems like I've seen that kind of shape of the speaker grill and that back part of that radio, but in something totally different, like a Zenith or something, not a True Tone. But I can't picture it. Can't remember it.
Yeah, I'm having a senior moment. I know I've seen that radio in a different branding, but I forget which one it was.
Huh.
Didn't Philco have something like that?
Maybe it was Philco.
It was Philco, yeah, because
That's right.
It's right around the time of those Bing Crosbys and some of those other weird ones that they did.
Yeah.
They call it boomerang.
Yeah, the boomerang. Right.
Yep.
Hmm. And last but not least on the contest is a FADA, right? FADA. There we go.
Frank D'Angelo.
Yeah.
It's a model 260V is in Victor 1937.
Okay.
Is Greg still on the meeting?
I'm here.
This was reported sold by Greg Van Beek on November 24th, 2023. Not this particular radio, but one he had just like it.
Yeah, I recognize the radio. It looks a little different than the one I had, but
That's funny.
it was a big, heavy radio, that Plascon cabinet. It's amazing those things survived near, 90, almost 90 years.
Probably didn't play it too much. That's why the heat and the cooling just did terrible things to that Plascon. Just didn't hold up.
So okay, so this was only driven on Sundays. A little later you drove it to church.
Now, Leigh used to listen to her mass once
exactly
a week, on
yeah,
Sunday.
right. 1 hour, turned it off.
Put your hand on the radio.
But see, wow, this is in terrific shape. That's interesting. Yeah, I see. I know. I wonder if those threads are really there in the picture, or we see on the lower part of the radio, or
that radio belonged to my good friend Barry McDaniel here in Little Rock, and that was one of the radios he kind of pulled out of his storage unit, and I think he stuck a piece of grill cloth into the back of it just to make it look better in the auction. So I think that's just a loose thread.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure when we saw the black threads on the other photo. I was wondering is there some strange behavior in your camera that threads mysteriously show up? But got it. Let's see. I think that covers
That's that's the auction items. If you want to go to the contest items.
Yeah, I'll move on next to those then. So I do that. So this obviously is meaningful. So that's when so you get the prize when you get first place. That's exactly what you get for getting first prize.
Yeah, and that's made out of real gold too.
Oh, that's pretty nice. That's slick. That's slick. And so the next picture may tell us something. Look at that.
Yeah. Now this particular radio, I did a little research on. Has anybody ever heard of Gail Rebold?
No.
Nobody's ever heard of Gail Rebold?
Not me, at least.
She is a big time, very expensive kind of radio collector down in Florida, which I kind of had a little contact with when I first got interested. And she sold this particular, this is a Silver radio. The brand name is Silver. She sold this particular radio.
Oh, yeah. It's at the bottom there.
On her website, and this was the description she had on it when she sold it. It said, Great Small Federal 159 Circle was the description. Circle radio, 1937, 1938. Radio in a beautifully grained, finely grained book match walnut veneer with black edge detail. Unusual modern radio for its time, was advertised as beautiful and graceful, yet striking in appearance due to its circular design combined with small size. The simple cabinet is highlighted by a large round dial face trimmed in brass with two ball brass gold feet. Circular radios were only manufactured by a few brand names during the late 30s, thus making it difficult design to acquire. This radio design can also be found branded as a Silver, Silver, with a different dial scale and label. Not silver tone, but silver. So it's from the late.
Anything to do with McMurdo silver?
Yes, it did. I think it did. I think you're right, Larry. But this particular radio I had entered some Crosley sets in the contest. And I think there's a picture coming up of the radios that I had entered in the contest. This was in the same category that my entry was in. And apparently they gave 2 first place medals, one to this one and one to mine. This was a neat set, beautifully done.
Yeah, and first one I've ever seen. Just beautiful.
Speaker must be in the back.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. But, you know, the guy had a copy of even the ad for it down there on the table.
Yeah, you can see right in the center here, lower center is the silver. Yeah. They call the Silver Circle.
And I think, what does it say? $33?
That's what I see. Yeah.
I'd pay that.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit more in today's money.
That's $1937.
Right.
Yeah. That's a hefty amount for that era. You know, some neat radios in this advertisement, by the way. So let's see. Move on to the next. There we go. There we go. There's the winner, co-winner.
Yeah, I had this ad. I don't know, from Look or Life or something from 1951. I had a copy of the original ad, and when I saw the ad, I realized I had 7 radios, and I think I had 5 of them. So I had about 6 months to find the other 2 I didn't have. So I put all these in the contest under pre-1960 pre-1960 sets. And it won first place in that category. There's several people in the club in Dallas that are really Crosley collectors. I mean, big time Crosley kind of collectors. And the one on the bottom right, the AM FM set, that I've owned 2 or 3 of those. This was actually the best condition one I have ever owned, because when they made this set in 1951, it was their first AM FM set. And for some crazy reason, they put a leatherette covering on it. They made it in 4 colors. This was the kind of the light cowhide color. They had green and burgundy, and I can't remember the other one. But I think that people love to put their ashtrays on top of the radio when they smoked. And when the cigarettes fell out of the ashtrays onto the leatherette, you can imagine what they did to it. Yeah. But this set was in really the best condition that I've ever seen. And one of my friends in the Dallas club who really loved and had a ton of Crosley sets said he had never seen that set before. This is the second one I've owned.
Yeah, they're not seen very often, that's for sure.
The Riviera Portable in the bottom there, the little brown set, that's a very hard set to find too. You know, it turns on when you open the flap up half of the circle. When it closes down, it turns the set off. That's a pretty hard set to find too.
Yeah, that's nice. Cool idea with the hinge activated switch. Yeah, that's a terrific, well deserving of first place. Wow, I'm very impressed how it matches the ad. That's cool.
And as all the people go through the contest of all the entries, they pick their favorite, and then there was an award given for the People's Choice, and this exhibit actually won that too.
Awesome. So you got 3 awards there, David?
Beg your pardon?
You got three awards out of this? 3 places?
No, just first place and People's Choice.
Oh, okay. Somehow I thought there was a third. Okay. That's terrific. Well, congratulations. Very well deserved. Ooh, let's take a look at this. 1933 GE. A53M, if I'm reading that correctly. Has 2 bands. Yeah. That's beautiful. Very attractive radio. Nice waterfall grill design. Gosh, that's nice. Not seen very often either. Let's see here. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, when I was reading the card on this earlier today, it says tempo tone Gilfillan. I've never owned a Gilfillan set. Los Angeles.
Oh, Gilfin. Yeah, it's Los Angeles.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, his name is Dave Gilfillan. So I actually found a Gilfillan radio in Massachusetts that needed rebuilding. So I got it for him for a Christmas present.
I bet he loved that.
Yep.
Very unusual design. It's really quite cool. The push button resets. Oh, that's cool.
I think my Patterson was made in the Gilfillan factory in LA.
Oh yeah, so with that PR10, Larry?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. I still say that the photo that you sent with it lit up, a good Halloween style photo, because it's black with the orangey lit scales.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Charlie McCarthy. Look at that with all that
game pieces, yeah.
And that's cool.
Very cool.
I like the fact, I mean, you see those, you see enough of these radios. That's in really nice shape, but you never see all the extra stuff with it.
The ancillary material.
Exactly. Very nice. Wow, some terrific stuff in this contest, I'll tell you. What do we got here?
Those are Cadet Junior sets.
Oh, yeah. That's a really neat coloring with that tan one second from the left. Very interesting marbling almost.
Those are all battery sets. So I think a lot of people took them to football games and listened to the game while they watched it.
Oh, okay.
I think those all came out in the early 30s, didn't they? Like 1933 or so?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is what year they came out. So well before the Opel Kadett automobile.
Right. Right. I
Spelled
think
the same way though, with a K.
somehow I thought the cadet name did show up surprisingly early um on Opel. Perhaps even I thought I recall seeing something pre-war. I could be wrong, but I thought I had. Um, but nevertheless, pretty cool. Again, not something you see very often, but I really find that this one and the second to left, the coloring is really interesting.
It's a real model color.
Yeah, that modeling is really quite neat. Very unusual.
Well, the injection molding equipment back in that time, they didn't have like modern injection molding. They use what's called a reciprocating screw, which as it's spinning and collecting plastic for the next shot or next injection, mixes the material real well. The early stuff was just a plunger, so it just like powder or pellets or whatever just drop into a cylinder, banging in there, and that's why you get all that swirl and different mottling in the plastic.
Ah, that's right. That makes sense, Bob. But I like the effect. I really like it. Okay. Ah, I've seen one of these in the past.
Good times.
Yes, indeed. We had one of these for sale. I think it was at our Radio 50 show before we flipped over to NEVEC shows. I think somebody was selling one of those. Not seen very often.
I've only ever seen one of those.
Who made this?
I forgot who made it. I think it's I can't read it on my computer, but I think it was called Magnatone or Magic Tone. Something like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does say Magic Tone. Yep.
Okay.
You just pull it up close. There we go.
Guy had one of them at Cutchtown many years ago. And I was really looking at it hard. And then when I saw the price tag, I ran real fast.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with those sets are the labels. The labels are just usually in horrible condition.
Yeah. That one's well preserved for sure. I'd be afraid to play it. I guess that's the antenna, that little wire ring across the table.
Yeah, I would think so.
Either that or it's another mysterious thread.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. They just show up out of nowhere.
The last two sets in the last two radios in the contest, I took pictures of in honor of John.
I appreciate that, David. Now this is a Telefunken Gavoda. And that was a 5353. That is the very last year they made this style set. I mean to say this design. So this is 1962.
That's what the sign says, yeah.
Oh, does it? Okay, 62, sure. That's in terrific shape. I mean, there's no one of the typical issues with these sets is you usually get some crazing. You get the little cracks formed on the finish, and it's just from age.
The lacquer shrinking.
Yeah, you get a little bit. If this one, either they were lucky, very, very, very lucky, or they redid it. But either way, it's in terrific shape. I have a 1 year earlier model. You can't almost tell the difference between the two, from 61, and they're just very nice radios. I've always liked the Gavoda line from Telefunken because it was I would call it like a lower mid-level midline radio. Three speakers. There's two electrostatic tweeters on each side. Oh, and these use little conical tweeters on these. They switched from, I want to say right around 1960, they switched over to the conical tweeters, and I have older Telefunkens with those flat panel electrostatic tweeters, which can be a little bit finicky as they get old. But this is a nice radio. Really, these are just great radios.
How do you pronounce that, John? Gabot?
I pronounce it Gavoda because in German you pronounce the E at the end.
Gavoti.
The Gavota is how I pronounce it. It I have to look that up. Telefunken named all their radios after musical themes, like opus, allegro, concerto, concertino. Gavoda is a musical term, but I looked it up years ago, and I just hasn't stuck to my memory. But it's obviously not a term that comes up very often. But yeah, that was how they named things. So that model line started in 1954 with the Gavoda 55, which I happen to have, and it's just very similar profile. That one was a little bit taller, and then they just kept that design from 55 until 62, and then
Wow.
they changed it a little bit. Like the Gavoda 55 through 6 and 7. I have a 55 and I have a Gavoda 7 export. They stand taller by a good inch or so, and a little not quite as wide. And right around 1957, they kind of made them a little squatter, a little wider, a little lower, and they kept that through. But just terrific radios. They really are great, and they're very, very good sensitivity. Just a great all around radio. You don't have to spend big bucks to get a decent one too. And I showed this a little earlier, but this is more for Howard. This is a French Sonora. You can always tell it. And I think these little, I call them coach lights, these little side lights. I think these light up. At least some do. But I think this might. But these are just, the French have that flair. You can tell right away it's French. And that's from 50, if I'm reading this correctly, 59. Do I read that correctly?
57.
57. Thank you. I couldn't tell for sure. Gorgeous radio. I not mind this at all. Beautiful, beautiful condition too. But so then next so that's all the still photos. So I
Right.
get onto a few videos. There are a few nice videos that I can show. Let me start with the small one.
Yeah, this
Can you guys see this still? You can see this, right, everybody?
Yep, I can.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
that's a spinner advertising sign, not a clock, just the spinner sign, which is really fascinating to watch.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That was in the auction later, and there's a video of it being sold.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I'll bring up the next video here. There we go. I'm not sure which one I'll end up showing first. Let's do this one. All right. So this, in fact, we'll see the Admiral and here's the Stuart Warner here. So
Yeah, this is a little Stuart Warner Air Pal.
All right.
Now, up at the microphone is Jim Sargent.
Oh yeah.
211 number 4. 211 number 4 on the really nice Stuart Warner Air Pal ball Bakelite. These are cute. They made a series of different colored ones on that. That's the cute one as well. Make it worth $20. Well worth that. $20 on the Air Pal. Thank you, Stuart Warner. I've got 25, 30, 35, 35, 5, 35. I've got 30 here. There, you're 30, bid 35. 35 bid 40, now 45. I've got 40 bid 45. 45, 5, there's 45 bid to 50, 55, 60 bid 65, bid 70, 75, 75. I've got 70 bid 75. 70's here, bid 75, 5, bid 75. 75, 5, bid 75. 70's here, bid 75. Are you all done? $70 standing. Are you done? Sold at $70, number 250. Gotcha. 216, number 1. 216, number 1 is a new in the box cooler radio, what we call the mini cooler, AM and FM, with the original box, still wrapped, doesn't look like it's ever been unwrapped. Nice, new in the box. Here we go. Somebody get $20 for that. Well worth that. I've got 20, bid 25. 25, 5, bid 25. Thank you. Another 30, 30 bid to 35. 35 bid to 40. 40. I've got 35 in the back there. I've got you at 35. Bid 40, 40, 40 bid to 40. 35 here. Bid to 40, 40, 40 bid to 40. 35 bid to 45. 40. Now you can bid again. 50, 50, 50 down to 55. 55, 5, bid 55. Thank you. Now 60. $60. I've got 65, 65. I've got 60 here, phone bid there. I've got 60 here, bid 65. 65, 5, bid 70. 70 bid now 70, now 75. 75, 5, bid 75, bid 80. $80 bid now 80. $80. I've got 75 here, bid 80. That's 75 is still with me, bid 80. 75 here. Last time around, though, you're all done. 75 is in the corner. Are you done? So 75, number 313. Thank you. 70.
Wow, huh? The that TV set, you guys, we had one at Fall Brookline. Someone had that TV set. In fact, I'm trying. I know I took a photo of it.
That looks like a late 50s Zenith.
Yeah. I was trying to remember if that was Zenith. I might be able to dig up the photo later. But yeah, I looked at it. I said, oh yeah, we had one just at Fall Brookline back in September. There was one that someone was selling. I was surprised that Coca-Cola radio went up pretty high. It was $80, I think, is what it was, right?
I'm surprised that went for more than the sign.
Yeah. Last but not least, here's one more. And this is the
this is the Crosley spinner clock, spinner advertising, no clock.
Right. Okay. Right. All right. Let's play it.
In the back room, we don't have it plugged in here, but that's a nice working advertising piece from Crosley. 211 number 2. 211 number 2 is a classic Crosley sign. It works well. Yeah, that's a nice one. You saw it back in the back. Somebody get 50 to go on this. It's well worth that. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. I've got 110, bid 120. Worth more. I've got 110, worth 20, bid 30, 140, 150, 160, 170. 160, I've got now 170, worth more. I've got 160, 170. There's 170, bid 180. 180. I've got 170, bid 180, worth more. 170, I've got 70. 170 bid 180. 180 bid 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280. 270, still with me, 280. 270 bid to 280. 280, I've got 270 on the wall, bid 280. 270 bid 280. A nice stuff brings nice stuff. It always does. 270 to bid 280. Are you all done? 270s on the wall. Are you done? Sold 270, number 216. 216.
Wow. Well worth it. Let's see. I think that was it, David, for
Yeah.
that was terrific. I mean, appreciate the not the videos, the experience. I like the way Jim Sargent does his auctions. Very easy to follow along. Not quite your fast talking. You're trying to keep up with what they're saying.
I love it when he says, worth more, worth more.
Especially if it's your item being auctioned. Yeah, yeah, it's worth more. But yeah, that was terrific. One of these days I'd love to go and attend one of those events. Jim is also I've shared a couple of I think in emails. There was a woman out in I think the LA area that David, you actually might have referred her to me when her father's collection of European sets, and that was quite a big auction. I shared the links to the previews on there. There was quite
Yeah, her dad was out in California. Must have been 10, 12 more years. He bought a couple of radios from me. And then he passed away I think about 2 years ago. And then I got an email from her that said her mom was going to have to move to assisted living. She had kind of didn't want to do anything with all the radios he had. And I mean, he not only collected radios, he collected all kinds of stuff. But the radios he collected were a lot of foreign sets, a lot of American sets. He had bought two from me, which is why she contacted me. And I said, well, I know I can't help you sell them, but I know who can. And so I sent her to Jim. And it's interesting how he does it. He, had everything, she had everything professionally packaged into these big containers and just shipped them all the way from California down to Texas. And he then auctioned them in his online auction over 2 months. I mean, two auctions, one month, one the next.
Well, there was some really impressive and a lot of European sets, stuff you don't see very often either. A lot of also European only sets, things that never just made the U.S. shores were exported. I thought that was quite interesting just to look at it. And they're all most of the stuff was in really, really nice shape. It looked for what I had obviously talked to her over email a few times because just to help her with the logistics of she wanted to share to raise awareness of them and also just told me a little bit about what the background was. And
I think I gave her your name and your email.
Yeah, no, she's very nice. Her name is Julie, I believe.
Yeah, Julie Santos, I think.
Exactly. Very, very nice. And she had shared the photos, to try and get people interested. I'm the only thing I'm glad about is that I don't live in that area because I would have been just taking on way too many things back home. But that was great. But let's hear. Did anyone else want to share anything? I can pick up a little bit from Fall Brookline. I still have some photos left in the hopper I can show. But before I do that, anybody is welcome to grab some air if they have anything they want to show or whatever. I'll take that as a resounding no. But sure, let me just we still have a little bit of time. Let me just show some stuff here. Let me just bring up the window. And back to Zoom and share. Okay. Hopefully be able to see this. Can you guys see this okay? Who would ever thought there's a Hershey syrup radio?
Yes. I haven't seen one of them in a long time, but that's in the original box.
I know. I looked at that. So you could take a radio and squeeze it, and you can be able to put topping on your ice cream. But yeah, I've never seen one. But yeah, it was all in the box, and I had no idea there was actually a Hershey's syrup radio until Fall Brookline. Fun radio. Old set. Let's see what we got here. Type. See what we got here. The maker is. Not sure. Maybe somebody could recognize this. The Colin B.
Colin and
B.
Kennedy.
Kennedy, San Francisco and St. Louis. A Kennedy radio. Not seen it. I have the first one I've ever seen. Oh, another. What do we got here? And
AK 33, I think.
Yeah, we'll call it $55. Well, actually, that doesn't seem too unreasonable considering. Look at it's actually in really nice shape.
That's a fair number for that.
Yeah, that's really pretty reasonable. Really,
looks better than my AK-20.
Yeah, no, it's really quite. Oh, oops, let me roll this down. There we go. That's better. We got 38 volts for as soon as the back. Don't know what this set is because it's hard to see in the light. Obviously there's a label at the bottom there. I'm at maximum. Whoops, that didn't work. That's definitely there. We go back to where we were. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know why it went back like that, but I guess we won't know. Here's a Crosley. Model 6.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. It's a nice wire, yeah. $60 for this little this set here. GE. It's pretty nice. Not bad shape. Certainly salvageable. This is one of those I've seen the walls. Didn't we see one of I don't think somebody paints this. Wasn't this one of these 70s or 80s specialties? Yeah, the Bruce Phillips had a bunch of these on his website he was selling, on eBay. DeWalt. A little more modern Sony, one of those probably late 60s, early 70s sets. Just basic AM, FM radio. Maybe so. Here we go. This here. FM stereophonic. A Motorola, there we go. I was wondering where that was. $15. Not unreasonable for assuming it works. Neat. This is neat with the ribbon style dial indicator.
Oh, that's a real early one.
Yeah. I'm not even sure what model this is. Oh, is this? Oh. I think I remember the name. It just doesn't come to me right now. Another old set. What does that say? Standardine or something? Standardine? What's that say? It's a limit of micron. Standardine. It's another mark I've never modeled.
Maybe that's just the brand, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Looks like a TRF.
Yeah. No. Tube tester. Cock. Oh yeah, there's guys like lots of tube testers.
Oh my God. It's Hickok or Us.
Yeah. He had a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, he's even got the one with the that. See the one up on top, John, with the red adapter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That does the early stuff too. I think that's what that adapter is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had
I've got that tube tester, but I don't have the adapter for the early 4-pin tubes, and apparently they're few and far between. I've never been able to find one.
Yeah,
that guy had one.
I have a
Yeah.
love-hate relationship with Hickok testers. Sometimes they're great, and sometimes they're useless.
Huh.
I won't get into it.
Yep. There's another test master.
That sounds kind of sinister.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he had a bunch of sets there though.
A lot of tube testers. Wow.
Yeah, this guy was almost this vendor was almost exclusively tube testers. Next on thing, next on.
Oh, that's a good tester right there, that B&K.
Yeah.
I do like the B&K and the Sencors. They seem to be pretty good testers.
Yeah, that's they're all in nice shape that he had. Oh, these are kind of interesting. I just happened to see them. I said, well, that's kind of unusual. These battery operated big lamps. Well, actually, I take that they do have plugs as well. But, well, don't see these very often. Is this an Emerson? Is this an Emerson?
Philco?
Oh, maybe a Philco. You may be right. Yeah, I think it's a Philco. A dual turntable.
Ooh.
Now, if it's working well, 150 is not unreasonable.
A 1015?
That might be a 1010 or
1019. 1019. That's not one of their belt drive ones. That still uses
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
there it is.
still uses a puck.
Of course, use assuredly a TO or
Ah, yes.
yeah. And this knows no. I mean, every show has a TO. If they don't, it's almost not a show.
If all the tubes in there and the tubes are good, that's worth a $50 bill all day long.
Yeah.
Between the 1L6 and the 50A1 ballast tube. That's the 600 series that had the ballast tube. And all the ballast tube that was in there for was basically to vary the resistance as to not zorch the filament string on the tubes. Zenith had a spec that when you did stuff to these things, you didn't want the filament string to go over 8.4 volts. And then after they made the last H500 and 53, these came out in 54, and they added that 50A1 ballast tube. Although the very, very, very last run of H500s, and they're rare, and I had one, and I rolled it, and I should have kept it because it was so weird. It actually had a socket for a 50A1 ballast tube, and it would play the radio with or without the ballast tube.
Huh.
If I ever find another one, I'm going to scoff it up because they're just really weird. They're rare, but not necessarily worthwhile. But it was just the way that Zenith kind of started to play around with that stuff. I guess they had problems with zorching 1L6s, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah, I had an
I've done like 30 of these. I've just, it's like going to the Little League game and striking out the pitcher. I just kind of, after a while, you know what to do.
Right. Yeah, I had one of these, and actually I sold it off. It worked too. It was all original. Let's see. Oh, so this is the voice of music.
That's actually a pretty good turntable. What do you think of those, Noah?
I usually like the ones that are a little bit older than that. But yeah, no, I mean, it's got a lightweight tone arm, so it's not a lathe or anything like that.
You have to clear up all the strings of plastic that it just carved off.
Right. But I mean, it's a good mechanism. It works well, and it's got good speed control.
So this was going for, there were a pair of these apparently. I forgot who makes it. Oh, it's the voice. Oh, this is with right adjacent. The voice of music was adjacent to.
Yeah,
that's right. It's the same table.
Get the turntable to go with it.
There you go. You get AM, FM. Each set.
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
Ah,
You got any food for me?
All we have is radios. He ran away.
I came in from the patios because the kitty totally passed out, so it was time for her to just go to bed. She was just liquid kitty. I just had to put my paw down and kind of look it over there on the ground, and then I could come in.
Right, probably getting a little cool out there. I'm not sure what radio this is. It's nice, and it's $100. So the tag says. I don't think that's $1. Another. Not sure who makes this one either. I'm not sure if zooming in is going to make much of a difference.
It's the $100 radio table.
Yeah, I know exactly. The free table. There we go. People are out, the arms flapping. Oh, there's let's see. No, never mind. That's somebody else I was thinking about. Yeah, people are rummaging and getting whatever they can out of this, and I think most everything left those tables. So it was quite the banner day. And look at all those cars back there. We had really good turnout.
Wow, yeah, it looks huge.
Because there's the road right here, right where my cursor is. So we have parked cars pretty much parked almost right near to the road, which is pretty good.
It's a good turnout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those boxes of records on the table there or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think people are getting rid of, some old records. You get this old, this TV over here. Of course, someone had a monitor, computer monitor. You can tell that's classic, but the classic profile. But there was a whole bunch of stuff, and stuff flew out of there. I dropped a few things off, and they disappeared. But they were actually pretty good stuff. So, an early hearing aid.
What?
It may be a joke, really, but well. I mean, maybe I didn't look it carefully enough. There, so you could see a set of earphones. I don't know if there's some sort of amplifier or something. I'm not really sure, but it is $25 for an early hearing aid. Oh, some books.
Radio Desires Handbook is always a classic. It's a lot of fun to read.
This was in the radio, and let's see who makes this. Lafayette. There we go. Cabinet not in too bad a shape. I mean, certainly salvageable.
An iTube.
Yeah, and an iTube to boot. That was pretty cool. Power line monitor and this power resistor.
That's interesting.
A decade box. Yeah, huh?
Power line monitor is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Good thing they
Shame it
have them in.
don't have the meatball logo. It's got the modern logo on it.
Yeah, right. Let's see here. I forgot what is this? A little paint or something on this.
It's a Valspar 5-tube AM radio.
Valve.
No extra charge for the paint.
$35. Whoops.
Not to be confused with the Krylon.
Yes, well,
Right. Yeah. Somebody.
well, it's probably the Valspar on top of the Krylon.
There you go.
So it's a two-tone.
Right. Pinstriping, Bob. Actually, it's a pretty nice. It's actually pretty neat shape. I mean, it wouldn't.
They didn't get in. They didn't get any of the paint on the dial. So
No, you could get the paint off and reshoot it. Do a little Earl Scheib on it.
Actually, there's not a lot of chips in that paint. So if you can get some good paint to match that up with, let it dry, and then just do a really light, like a 2500 grit sanding and polish that up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother repainting that.
Yeah, probably. It's got a few little scratches. You might be able to get them out, like at the top here, but it's in pretty decent shape. Pretty decent shape. And $35, you think, well, no, that's not really a whole lot of money.
That's not a horrible number for that.
Oh, no, not at all.
It's got 4 knobs on it. Maybe it's got a 2-door F in it or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe the diamond in the rough there. Oh, I know this was
Electronics, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Who is trying to get rid of this? It's a really Henry. Henry Tessier was trying to get rid of it. And he's like asking 150
That's
bucks.
a nice scope.
He's like 100. It was like I think asking 150. I thought it was very reasonable. It's a really terrific shape. It looks practically brand new. I think he had all the manuals and everything. Yeah, this was his radio over here. This is his table. Nice Admiral AM/FM radios. Looking. I kind of like this coal gold inset with the
they
lighter.
used those knobs forever in the late 40s and up into the 50s. They used them on televisions.
Yeah, same style, just bigger versions.
Yep.
I just restored the plain Jane AM version of that. It was all black, and I kind of polished it up, and it was black Bakelite, and I polished it up and made it look really nice. And where the script on that is a dark gray, this one was originally white, but when I polished the Bakelite case, it took the paint right off it. So I repainted the script for them, and it's literally in my shop right now, sitting on a shelf. I have to drive it over to the guy's house. He didn't drive anymore. Elderly guy.
Now, how do you repaint the Admiral script? Is it really just very careful?
I have my wife gave me a very, very small paintbrush. You can go in there and do it. And if it runs over there, you could just easily just take, wipe it off without screwing things up. And if it leave a little paint thing, you could take just some polish on a tab and just clean that up. So it's good.
So it's an inset. So it's actually
that Admiral script is actually indented into the case.
Yes,
molded in the case, and then that got painted over.
Got it. That would make it a lot easier. I agree.
That's an AM/FM version, which I've never seen before. I've only seen the AM version, which is what I got working for this guy. So
yeah. No, I like it. I liked this particular color combination. I was like, wow, I stopped and thought about it for a moment.
You're gonna make me go downstairs. I get it. I'll have to get it now. See, you got me started, John.
Hey, look at
right
that.
Back.
So we get a free show and tell out of it. So nothing wrong with that. We'll wait for Bob to go fetch his radio. I used to play the Jeopardy music, right? You know. Double Jeopardy.
Gonna have to go, guys. See you later.
Hey, Lloyd, it's good seeing you.
Yeah, you too.
Glad you're able to. All right, let me
How well that's coming through.
let me stop share, and I will pin you so we can, at least for the
Probably
recorders.
not the best light in the world.
Oh, it's pretty good. Let me pin you up. There you go. No, it actually did a great job. It looks great.
Yeah, this is just natural Bakelite. I cleaned it up. Had a lot of paint flecks on it. That took a while to clean all that up, and then I repainted the script.
Yeah, no, it's that
It said
white, it's not
Admiral.
silver.
Yeah.
Looks
So
great. Looks great. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it's I guess the bigger brother with the FM got the looks like got the harder kind of the metal case, but with a little more the front grille is a little fancier with the two-tone inset. Pretty cool.
this is a guy that lives about 15 minutes away from me from here, and his father was kind of a tinkerer, hoarder kind of guy, and I bought a bunch of stuff from him, and that was in the pile, and I, as a surprise, I did this for him. So I just have to bring it over there and give it to him. It's kind of a thank you.
Hmm. Oh, that's nice. I assume they said just have a single bulb for the dial light, Bob, or do they use two on that?
Yeah, it's got a I'm trying to remember. I think it's a 35Z5, so it's got the 6-volt tap on there that you could put a 47 bulb on it and backlight the dial.
Right. There's a national. Nice shape too. Well, and 578, I think. Oh yeah, these multi-band what's this? Electronics Corporation. Let's see what it says in the way to the red section of the label, but it's probably one of those more bargain basement, you know, but multi-band. It's cool from probably the early 70s, I'd say.
Got that look to it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a nice little Zenith.
Yeah, I have that radio.
Yes.
I have that exact radio.
Oh, and this one's in pretty good shape. A little dusty, but otherwise it looks in great shape.
It's pretty good in the kitchen on top of the refrigerator.
Yeah, the only problem is got that
Oh yeah.
new dial cover.
Well, my friend Larry in Georgia sells those things in repops. You can get them for, I think, $20 or something like that. It's very reasonable.
Like you can
got
tell it's
broken dial cover.
Yeah. And this one you can tell is yellow too, so it would do it well to get in.
Well, usually if they're yellowed or if they were in a room full of smokers, you just take some Novus number 2 polish, clean all that stuff up, and then chase it with the number 3, which is the real thin.
Yep.
Or no, number 1. I'm sorry, or the number 3, whatever the one is in the blue lettering, wherever it's like water.
Yeah.
And just wipe that all off, and it'll just look like brand new when you're done.
Yep.
Novus is wonderful. Just take the ugliest dial covers and make them look new.
Yeah, no, it's terrific stuff. I agree. Here's another Emerson. Got him pretty nice shape there.
It's 3 knobs when only 2 are necessary.
That's the one knob that does nothing. You just keep spinning around, does nothing.
I got a little bit of everything here.
Yeah.
It looked like a late 60s clock radio. I don't recognize the brand.
Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Westinghouse.
Might be a solid. Yeah, it is a solid state.
Solid
Okay.
state, yeah.
I'm a touching New Jersey radio right in my backyard.
There you go.
That is another solid state.
Yeah, this K-tone or K-tone.
Probably.
That's what it says right at the bottom there.
Oh, 15 transistor. Wow, that's got to be good.
with,
AM,
with
FM.
AFC.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, and even a little tone button. Look at that. This is full of goodies.
that looks like a
AM, FM, no less.
6-tube Zenith chassis behind that from 41. I forget the model number on that. Maybe Greg will know. Greg, you recognize that Zenith in the back?
I recognize it as a Zenith chassis. I couldn't tell you the model number though. Like you say, I think it's probably a 6-tube.
Yeah, I think that's a 41, but I just don't remember the model number myself. Drawing a blank.
Recognize the crumbling wiring.
Yeah, I was gonna say looks about like the one you were working on there, Noah.
Yes, it does.
That describes a lot of Zenith radios, though.
It could be a half melted transformer on there too from a shorting 6X5.
Yeah.
This is kind of neat. This Zenith with the.
Oh, I've always loved that Zenith. It just
Yeah.
it's just it's an okay radio, but it's just really deco looking.
Yeah, it's neat with that with the printed. Because
That's a 1 year only radio. They made them in '59, I think. Look at all the cars from '59 with the fins and everything. And they figured they'd make a radio that's a little bit off the beaten path and bizarre looking.
Yeah,
like a 59 Chevy taillight.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's
Exactly.
a great
Like
analogy.
the teardrop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's a great analogy. And I guess that's that little up here. There must be a little power light up here. Yeah, it was neat. I looked at it more than once. I said, "It's pretty cool." Okay, here's a bunch of stuff.
Wow.
We got a little bit of everything here.
Got some cameras, and it's got little portables,
Cameras and more radios are AM, FM, GE.
Yep. There's a GE right there.
Recognize that.
I don't know what's
Sure
behind
that-
this. AM, FM, something, another clock radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the same table had the Zenith we were talking about up in the upper left corner. So he had all that good stuff. Oh,
And that little GE AM, FM transistor is not a bad radio. The one on the very corner of that table. That's a decent little radio. I think I worked on one of them for somebody. I ended up having to recap and align it. And when I got it done, it was a pretty nice radio.
Oh, this was I think a realistic, wasn't it? This was a yes, it's a real.
Yeah, that's a Radio Shacker.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Really pretty nice shape. I was like, I have thought about it. Nice condition.
Probably looks like a late 60s, early 70s vintage.
Yeah, absolutely. No question.
Yep.
They kind of used the similar technique that Airline was using with their bands. They used all the little color codings on there. I have my Monty Ward. Here we go. There's just a bunch of stuff. You got some records, some people for sale.
Console cabinets getting ready to head to the bonfire.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but yeah. But you can see this is really well attended. If you look out there's we're pretty deep back there. And this is multiple, there are multiple rows, aisles here.
Looks like he's got a Radiola 17 or 18 on top of that big
the
big console there.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. See, this is sort of a pan out. I mean, we had, we had one, if you
That's got to be one of the biggest shows ever, I think.
We had something like, what we had, I think we have 90 tables total. If you go inside and outside, I think it was, we sold almost like every outdoor plot, I think short of a few.
That's a pretty good amount of vendors.
Yeah, we had really, the weather was perfect. And it was just one of those perfect, made for radio show kind of days. And you can see the tailgates are all up. That's people take the word tailgating seriously. Tailgate's up, and people are literally selling stuff right out of their tailgate. So it was a great. I'm thinking I'll make either this picture or one of these two pictures the new photo for when I list the next Brookline shows. I think this one in particular, I like this one, but showing all the crowds. It was good. Good show. Oh, in fact, this isn't someone's tailgate. I think it was
Cell phone.
19.
That predates Hallicrafters.
Yes, indeed. Here's this.
Can't make it out.
Howard. Oh, that's Howard's Howard. I think that's Howard's Howard.
That's Howard's Howard, literally?
Howard, I think that's Howard. I think it's Howard Jr. You can tell. I mean, it looks just like him. I think this is Howard's. I mean, look at the beautiful cabinet.
Pretty radio.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is I'm almost sure that's his Volvo behind. I'm almost dead certain that's Howard's. Yep, that was his posting, but he did the cabinet. It was just a terrific. I think this is called a Howard Jr. I forget now. But it certainly is Howard Jr. no matter what. That's right. He was trying to decide. Oh, yes, I remember this now. My name comes in here. I took the photo of him buying this very radio, money coming out of the hand. So the money exchange is in progress. So he took it home and he decided what to do. And he said, so much like
left the multiple guess.
So it's like keeping his collection. How could Howard get rid of a Howard? That's very anti-Howard. Donate it, give it to the previous owner back, ask for my $30 back. Now that's a deal. Or lower the asking price. That was hilarious. I enjoyed
ask for the money back came in second.
I'll have to actually ask him what the outcome was because this is still early in the show. But that was funny. I really enjoyed that.
I take it there was some alcohol being served at that point, or when he made that up, or something. Or
these are morning shows.
Well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It was 5 o'clock somewhere, exactly.
Oh man, it's funny.
Aha. I see a BP-40 with the original leather case.
Oh, yes.
Classic RCA BP-40 with the monogram on it.
Yeah. And you could be the next JKD.
I suppose. I actually have a working version of that with the leather case, but my strap is broken.
What is this?
I'm going to get one.
What is this object right here? This almost look, I'm trying to decide what that was. This gold.
It looks like some kind of light, but I
That's
don't
what
know.
I thought. It almost looked like it's a small form of a street light. I was like, look at the size of this thing. But
why is it brass? Unless it's it was nautical or something, or
no. I should
It's an handheld remote eyeball.
Yeah, I was thinking it could be a camera as opposed to a lamp, but I don't know.
If it were, then why would they need to encase it in brass?
That is a periscope from a German U-boat.
There you go.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, he's had it for a fair length of time.
Is that really? Wow, that is cool.
Well, that wasn't a joke.
I'm not kidding you. No,
a periscope. Wow.
So it's worthwhile looking at his table at the show. His name is Van.
Oh,
and he
right.
brings a large amount of military surplus stuff. I just bought a jammer from him. I don't know whether I showed it to you guys or not. Did I?
The jammer.
A jammer is a portable radio transmitter that you put on your Humvee when you're driving through enemy territory, and it jams the cell phones that they use to set off explosives next to the road.
Oh, okay.
And I could actually show it to you if you would
Oh,
like
sure.
to see.
Why
The
not?
story is sounding more familiar as you.
Right. But let's have a
Just
look. I like the idea of putting a periscope. You could mount that periscope. Why didn't you buy that mounted on your Yukon there, Tom? So you can see up ahead as you're traveling along, 89 or whatnot.
This
I think
is
it would probably bolt onto an Enigma, is what I think it would be good at.
I couldn't resist this. This was just amazing. Let me see if I can figure out how to get it open. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. The way to open it and it is itself amazing. You open it like this.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And on this side you can see more of what's going on. You open it up like this and you set it on the ground in this position here. And then you raise this antenna, which goes way up. And it's got a bunch of radials on it. Those little pieces of wire go out in 4 different directions and make it much more powerful than it would be if it was just using the transmitter and the whip antenna. And then it has a bunch of controls that you can use that determine when it is activated. Maybe you can see, I get this thing. It's not the most convenient thing to carry around with you. The controls over here are timer, which allows you to set a time for the jammer to go off. And what the jammer does is it covers all frequencies that cell phones cover and that walkie-talkies cover. So if the enemy has a cell phone or a walkie-talkie that they're going to use to trigger an IED what is it? Incidental explosive device, as you drive by, this thing blocks it. So it's a pretty amazing device. Not many of them on the market, and it's not the kind of thing you see very often, but for an Enigma collector, this thing is definitely a must-have.
Yeah, that's cool.
And his prices were incredibly reasonable. I've never even heard of one of these things before. I was expecting 500, 600 bucks, $75. That was a bargain.
Doesn't even have any burn marks on it.
No, not yet, at least.
You may not think that's a bargain, but it is. Now, the periscope that you were just looking at, that isn't quite such a bargain. He's asking either 500 or 600 bucks for it. But how often do you get a chance to buy a periscope from a German World War II, mind you, U-boat?
Oh, that is cool.
If you look at the little head there, and you'll see that the lens can pivot upwards so that the periscope can look at the sea to see if there are other boats around, or it can scan the sky for enemy aircraft.
Right, to see what's about to bomb you.
So my remote guess wasn't that far off.
Yeah. Now, it is extremely heavy also. That's all brass. I would guess 50 pounds, maybe a 75 pounds, something like that. A very, very heavy and neat device.
Wow.
While I'm talking, let me share screen for a moment, if you would, John.
Sure.
Okay,
I
I just
need the
wanted
full
to show you.
assembly to get with the handles that go up,
Yeah.
I just wanted to show you what I've decided to put in my room. Where is it here? Yeah, not right yet. Let's see if I can get back to where I was. No, Let me close out of this. I found a fire extinguisher that actually, where is it here? I guess there. Come on. Oh, no. Yeah, try this one. Okay. Back to share screen. And we go to here. Okay, can you see that? I guess you can.
There we go.
On
Aha.
the, on the right is a thing called a haven, and it mounts in the ceiling through the hole that you see over there on the right. And the only thing you see in your ceiling is this little disc. And what it does is if the temperature in the room goes above 135 degrees, it releases a huge amount of class A, B, and C fire retardant, which means it can put out wood fires, electrical fires, oil fires, everything, anything. It covers a room that is 10 by 10. How did they know I was going to put it in my room, which measures 10 by 10? Unbelievable. If you look at these things, there are a lot of them on the market. In the $800 to $1,000 range, but this device here that you're looking at is only 279 bucks through Amazon, and I've just ordered one, so you may actually see me next week, next time.
Or right in the middle of one of your presentations, the thing goes off.
Of course, you might see me in a huge cloud of fire suppression if anything gets above 135 degrees in here. But it's pretty neat. And at that price, I think it makes a lot of sense. I think
Wow.
I'm going to put it in my shop also. It makes a lot of sense to have that kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, look at that. A little shopping while we're doing a presentation. Not bad.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, actually, it's 9 o'clock on the dot, so like timing is actually good. Well, guys, thanks for showing up. They're
Yeah,
really excited
great.
to have you guys on here. Always a bit of fun, and we actually finished most of the pictures anyway. We would have seen some of the contest photos and so forth, but uh, the very last meeting will be let's see, what today's the 6th, right? 7th? No, so it'll be 2 weeks from this coming Wednesday. So it'll be the 20th, I think, thereabouts. And so it'll be our Christmas
Yeah,
Christmas
20th.
meeting. So it'll be a round robin. Bring your favorite libation, and we'll just relax and see what happens.
And if you haven't seen Santa Claus's radio workshop, the video that I made, I think you would enjoy it. Santa Claus tries to fix an Atwater Kent radio that he got on the free table at NEVEC and ends up with it catching fire. And it's definitely fun. I can give you the link for it, or I think many of you have seen it already.
Yeah, but that never hurts to send it again, Tom.
Okay. Well, if you go to the AWA website and just look up my video, it's on their website. And I think, John, did I do it for you also?
Well,
I may have actually been for here.
I
I
think
don't know.
so. Of course,
Yeah.
I mean, the most classic event was the Reoming event, which was
That's it. The Wyoming, yes.
Yeah.
that was classic. That was classic.
That's-
That's a keeper. But
And speaking of fires in my room, that was in my room here.
well, maybe we know the source of the arc.
Of course, I put it out with whipped cream rather than
Right.
a fire extinguisher.
An arc is accelerant.
Yeah. Happy Christmas, everybody.
All right.
Yeah, happy Christmas and all. But thanks everybody, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Which should be, I think, the 18th.
Oh, is that what it is? You're right. You are correct. But it will be a Wednesday as usual. But you never know. It could be Thursday. But it's good seeing you guys who normally can't make our Wednesday show. So we'll have to see about maybe I can flip flop around maybe every so often to try and get a little bit get you guys in. Anyway, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Stay
Thanks,
dry, stay warm.
Good night.
See you soon.
Night.
Bye.